It's time to get into players only. And our guest today, two-time Super Bowl champion for the New England Patriots, Julian Edelman. Thank you for being here. David Carr. So the topic, guys, is team chemistry, how important it is in the locker room or not so important. I think we've all been around teams that have had good chemistry and teams that haven't had good chemistry. So, speak about this team, especially, the chemistry that you guys had. As you mentioned before, you guys went through a lot in the beginning, but at the end, it all worked out. So how important in your mind is team chemistry?
I've been on the Patriots now for a little while. So,
8 years, right?
8 years, 8 years. So, it's always interesting to see a team's chemistry. And the two best team chemistries that I was involved with, we just so happened to win Super Bowls. So when it comes down to it, we have our coaches and our GMs and all the personnel people. They do a great job of bringing good guys in the locker room. I mean, all our guys can get along with each other. All our guys can, hang out, and it's pretty much like that in the locker room. I mean, there's no beef, and I've been on teams earlier in my career, or there was teams earlier in my career where, there was a guy here when I was a rookie who was kind of a, you didn't really go down that alley of the locker room because he was kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You didn't want to go over there. And it's not really like that anymore. And another thing is I want to say about the team chemistry, there's an accountability factor that both sides of the ball have for each other. Each day in practice, we practice hard now. There's fights, there's some talking going on.
Yeah.
Brothers
there's
fight,
all that all the time.
Yeah.
But if I look at the guy across from me and I know he's not giving his best, which he's always given his best, he's going to make me better. And when he makes me better, when I'm giving my best, and it's going to make him better.
Exactly.
It's interesting that you say it's like a culture of winning, right? And that's what you guys have there. So when you look at the best teams, I always think that the teams that have the best chemistry, their best players work the hardest. And I think that's so when you think about the Patriots, you think about the work that you and Tom do in the offseason, like you're the best players and you work the hardest. So there's a culture when young guys come in that they're not following knuckleheads. They're following guys that do it right. So just talk about that in your locker room and how that kind of brings everyone together too.
Well, that's you said it right there. When I was a rookie, I came in, I see Teddy Bruschi, I see
Guys that did it right.
I see Kevin Falk, I see Dave Patton, I see Deion Brandt. I see all these guys that have won Super Bowls, that have played in big-time games, that come into work and they're professional. A lot of these guys don't understand. I mean, I don't know how it's done in other places, but there's a difference between coming into work just to work, and there's a difference between a guy who comes in who's a professional.
Yeah, that's exactly right. When Martellus Bennett was in New York with me, I remember he had a certain way of going about things, but I hear him talk after the game with you guys, and he's all in. Like, I'm going to block, I'm going to do whatever I have to do.
But isn't that part of it is coaches, too? Like, coaches have to be involved in that building, that chemistry.
For sure.
I've been around where players will call out coaches and coaches call out players, and it just wasn't a good atmosphere. So how important is that as well, having the coaches a part of that chemistry?
Okay, let me tell you right now, there's no players calling any coaches out where I'm at. Yeah, I've seen that happen a couple times, and let's just say 2 days later, guys weren't there. And, and it didn't matter who guys were, and that's just there's a sense of authority in New England that, hey, that their job's to coach, our job's to play, and that's just kind of how it goes. So, but I mean, with the chemistry, I mean, when you look at our coaches, these guys are over here, they're here for 15 or 16, 18 hours a day. I don't even know how they have families. Because of how much they're there. And I wanted to be a coach until I saw how these guys do it. I'm like, I want to have a life after this whole thing. So it's unbelievable. And when you see a young guy come in, he sees a coach who's been here, who hasn't slept, or hasn't left, or the quality controls guy who does all the crap work for everyone, who's doing everything to the absolute best of his ability. It kind of rubs off on guys. It's just how it is in New England.
I appreciate the conversation, guys. Lindsey, as you can see, chemistry is one of the biggest aspects of any championship team.